Well, good morning. My name is BASSUK, and I'm the owner of a couple companies, CBR Technology, which is a biomedical service company, and also Career Institute of Technology, which is a biomedical school. The name's about to change because we actually got accreditation for being a college. We offer an associate's degree, so it's going to be called the Biomedical School of Equipment Technology. The acronym, you can see that, so it'll fit right in line. And after we get our final accreditation, again, in June, we're going to be applying for our 4-year HTM degree. And I'll explain a little bit later on what that means. Because as everyone notices, there was about 5 or 6 different HTM classes that they had here. What is HTM? How does it pertain to you? And it gets confusing. And so my takeaway from all this was speaking to the other speakers, speaking to the industry and the organizations, is you guys are HTM. You're in the healthcare technology field, and you just have to decide how much of the HTM you are and how far you want to go with HTM and how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to benefit the company, and the employers have to decide how much HTM they are and how much they're willing to invest to do the transition from the old biomedical way to the new evolution of biomed, which the word biomed will probably go away in the future and it'll become HTM. So as we go on, I wanted to rename this different, but I wasn't sure who the target audience was going to be. But I realized it wasn't just about the technicians, the new students that are starting. It was also about the managers, the directors, company owners that are in biomed. This pertains to everybody. And the most common error in all businesses that people make where they lose value is in the lack of communication. And so I'm here to explain a little bit about what I look at as a business owner to help my techs get higher salaries and pay, but at the same time, how it helps the company so we make more money on the profits, higher revenues. So Scott, go ahead and go to the next slide. There's a video here that I want to show you before. Oh, you want me to go ahead and do my introduction? All right, so just so you know who I am, I'm the founder of CBR Technology that started in 2017, and then I was the founder of Career Institute of Technology, but it was Riser Technology 11 years ago. Unfortunately, my partner committed suicide, and I had to sell the company, and I sold it for pennies on the dollar, and after it became accredited, it came back to me last year. So I bought it back, and we revamped the entire program. My history goes back all the way to my Army days, which is where you learn biomed. I also became a medical technologist in the military. And as you see, I was also in the Navy. I was a glutton for punishment. So where I was a lab tech as well. And then I went back into the Army. So I did Army, Navy, Army. And then I decided it's time to get out. So I worked for Culture Electronics, which is a specialized hematology analyzers. And they also had chemistry and electrometry. Culture was #1 in the industry back in the day, in the 90s and 80s. They were the machine for hematology. Now Sysmex took over because Culture, they sold it, Beckman Coulter and Beckman Coulter sold, and now they're losing ground as far as the circus is concerned. Beringer Mannheim was a chemistry company. They did the Hitachi's, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with laboratory, but that was my specialty, lab tech. I worked on medical equipment in the lab, and that's where I started my biomedical career with. From there, I ended up working for Core Master Plan, National MD. National MD was bought out by GE, so I ended up working for GE as their national lab manager for about a year. There was a lot of travel involved with that. And then started at Barnes-Jewish Hospital. That's where I got the bulk of my biomedical training in. I took a job based on people skills knowledge. I had no concept of what biomed really was, except from what I learned in school. And they brought me on as a manager for the largest hospital in the country. That's where I met Mr. Doug Stevens at. So, and I can tell you, that was a big bite to have to swallow. But I learned that, and what I learned from there was what biomed does, what each person does in biomed, the different aspects of it. But what I didn't understand was how they price it out. So from there, I went to Patriot Medical Technologies, learned how to price everything in the lab and how that works, and started my own company after that. So that's been my career now. And but each step was a stepping stone to get me to where I'm at now. So with what I do now, my passion is to help people get to the next level, to help them with their career path, not just when you graduate school, but to follow you throughout your career path. You know, this is what's going on in the industry. What we're doing now is establishing relationships with OEMs, ISOs, hospitals, and asking them what their needs are. To find out what their needs are, where their gaps are in their employees and their employment, what they're looking for. Because we're losing 50% of our staff probably in the next 10, 15 years. And how do we fill that up? Well, it's not going to fill up quickly, you know, so the market will adjust. So there'll probably be more schools popping up. And I don't look at any other school as competition because it's not. We're all here to help people. And that's the important thing. Okay, Scott, and this video that we're about to show came on today. Mike, what channel? This was Fox, right? This was on Fox. This came up today, and this is something I want you to listen to before we get into our presentation because it goes hand in hand with it. Go ahead, Scott.
Give me a second here. Doesn't want to do it now.
Scott's our technical director.
Failing miserably, I might add.
You had a rough night. You just added up.
Yeah, no, it's not. Mm-hmm.
Well, we can go on to the next slide. Is it download?
No, she.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-mm. She restarted the system. It didn't go back in.
That's all right. We'll just go to the next slide. Because we heard it earlier today, and I'll explain what it's saying. Oh, there you go. But as you can see, what they're talking about is employees wanting to get raises, and how do they do that? And what we're finding now, and I'm finding this as an employer myself, is I'll hire a technician, and they expect a raise within a year, but they're not really seeing what the needs of the company are, even though I explain it to them. So what I'm trying to share with you is, if you all, besides getting the cross training, which we'll get into, and how to show your value and how the company can show their value back to the employee, is understand that what we look at as employers is, first of all, a positive attitude, because nobody wants to hang around people with negative attitudes. Second thing is be a team player. A lot of times, if you're a team player, your boss notices that. You know, I know that every one of my employees that helps other people, that kind of takes a step in the background, being unselfish, I reward them because that's something you can't buy. And then the third thing is get your expertise. You know, find out how you can better yourself, not just for yourself, but for the company. And if you use that formula, you'll always be successful in life. And it's, the way I look at it is the more you give, the more you receive. You know, that's the way it works in life. So how do you quantify your value? And the reason why I wanted to show you this video was, this video came on this morning. Monty woke up after to turn on the news and saw it. It goes hand in hand with what we're trying to share here with the group. So I would tell my people, the people I've had numerous employees, numerous people work for me, don't just ask for a raise because you feel you deserve one. You'll be surprised how many times I get people in my office that says, I believe I deserve a raise. And I'm like, okay, why? Well, I've been here a year, I've been here 18 months, I did this, that's your job description, you know? And it's like, I have to explain to them the way the company works. So what I do when I hire someone, I share the vision of the company, where we're headed, I share the budget, I share everything with them. I give them ownership of the company so they can feel like they're a part of it. Because when you feel like you're part of the team, then you feel like you're valued. But if your bosses or your department are not sharing that with you, then subconsciously you may not feel like you're valued, or you may like, this is just a job. And I don't want it to be just a job for you. I want it to be, this is a career path I've chosen, I love what I do, I'm helping people, I feel valued. Because when you don't feel valued, then you're not going to give it your all. You're going to be discouraged, and then that flows into your personal life as well. So sell yourself to a business plan that either saves your organization money or makes them money. So when you come in to ask for a raise or something, and again, we're not talking about cross-training yet, I'm just trying to say when you do present, come in with a business plan and say, hey, I noticed that this is the vision of our company. However, if we were to do this, it can save money or make money, and then I would like to know if I can get a raise or how I can participate in that. Because I will tell you right now, as a business owner, if someone came up to me with a plan like that, I would definitely give them a raise. For one, the initiative. For two, they have my back. For three, it's loyalty on both sides. It's like a family, you know. And then, how do you show your value? I quit reducing contracts because I'm in I deal with hospitals, and that's the hospitals are hammering on me right now. We need to save money through contracts. Well, how do we do that? We do that by getting you cross-trained on what we're trying to take off the contracts. And if you're the OEM don't want things off the contract, but we always use them as a backup. The ISOs or the OEM. It's all about relationships. Be a team player, and then I have cross-training, subject matter expertise. Become a subject matter expert in whatever it is you're doing. Because then everyone is going to be leaning on you, having to ask you for the questions that secures your job. And then collaboration. Collaboration is, don't be afraid to work with them on a team. Don't think because you're sharing information, your job's in jeopardy. The more information you share, the more of a team player you are, believe it or not, the more valuable you are to the organization. They don't want to get rid of people like that. They need people like that. And then positive team attitude. Positive attitude, be a team player, and always look at yourself in a business plan, all right? How can I get to the next level? I'm a businessman. That's what I have my main degree in is MBA. I always have to speak to people, and usually when I start to speak with them, the answer is already no. Okay? Now I have to change that no to a yes. But how am I going to do that? Data doesn't lie. So I give you a data plan, which is a business plan. If you all do the same thing, your business plan could be to further your education, to cross-train, to understand HDM better, whatever it is, come up with something. Don't walk into your boss's office with nothing, asking for something. It has to be win-win. Every one of my negotiations is win-win. Sometimes I'll do a lose-win. I'll take a little bit of a loss, but the overall win. Especially if it makes a difference for more people than just myself. All right, next slide. And it says, valuing an employee's worth. It's the sustaining high profit margins and rewarding great employees with higher salary. And what I did is I did a market research in my area. And I know that if I pay my employees more than what the surrounding competition is paying, I don't have to worry about them jumping ship for money reasons. Now, a lot of times money doesn't make a difference. You have to be happy. You have to have that self-worth. So I try to make sure that my employees feel valued. You know, just as I want them to value me as their boss. Then I also try to have them understand the complete program. I share my vision with them, the direction of the company, not only for me, but for who we are working for, the customer, the hospital, whatever the case may be. And with the school, the student. The students are customer. They're the most important thing to us. So I share our vision with them so they understand that. But what makes it more profitable is I also give them ownership of the budgets for the departments they're working on. They're responsible for their own departments, whether it's radiology, surgery, ICU. They get to do their reports. I teach them how to do the reports, and you guys will learn that in the associate's degree. Teach them compliance, leadership, and then IT. Right now, we're in the process of getting all of our technicians certified on A+, A++. It's an 80-hour course for each one of those, and they can take the CompTIA. But it's important to have that because what's going to happen is, if my contract's ever canceled with a hospital, my employees will still have a job when they live there because they have this technology available. That's what the hospital needs. They can maybe get rid of my company, but they can't afford to get rid of the technicians. And as long as the technicians have a job, I'll be happy. I had a hospital in Lufkin, and CHI came in and bought them out. And they're in-house. So one of the things I asked them was to evaluate the staff and to keep them there, because that's a small town. People don't just relocate. So to this day, and it really brought a tear to my eye yesterday when I saw them all. They're there, they're happy, they're doing very well. CHI loves them, and we have a good relationship with CHI. And that's win-win for both of us. Next slide. Okay, technical expertise is not always important. Understanding the big picture of your organization. Now, what I mean by this is you can be a football coach but not play good football. Right? You know the game, you know all the rules of the game. I'm not a biomed per se, but I understand biomed. I'm not an artist, but I know good art. I'm not a musician. I try to be my ukulele, but I know good music. So I actually got yelled at last night by my neighbor for putting people early at 9:30, so I turned it off still. But so what I'm trying to say here is this: if you understand technology, it doesn't mean you have to be an expert on technology. What I do is I take puzzles of technology. I understand what this piece of technology does. Radiology, all right? I can't fix an X-ray machine, but I know what's the fines for them. I know what's required. I know what their budget is, and I know this person over here is a radiology expert. So I incorporate all the pieces of the puzzle, and we make it work like a well-oiled machine. And then increasing profit margins for ISOs, independent service organizations, OEMs, or the hospitals without raising the prices. I'm always challenged. The hospital will come to me and say, can you reduce your budget? And most people say, well, we can't. We have to make a certain EBITDA, which is earned income before taxes. But I already know that the hospital's going to ask me this usually 3 years into the contract. So I work with them. And what I end up doing is, because we have low overhead, and I'm not going to share my trade secrets in my service company, is we're able to save the hospital money and make a difference. And again, a lot of it is with hospitals, it's contracts, but it's more than that. It's also making sure that their equipment is not down as much. You know, that you're holding OEMs accountable to their contracts. If they guarantee 98% uptime and they're running at 95%, that might mean hundreds of thousands of dollars of loss to the hospital because they can't use that machine. So if you understand that technology, that is all HTM. HTM is not just biomed and IT. It's understanding the entire business, not only from a manager's point of view, but as a business owner point of view. And the program that one of the main leaders, Scott White, who's going to be coming on board with us and helping us to develop this HTM, is to teach everyone the entire business, not just management, but business of what it is in a biomed shop, which we call an HTM shop. Currently now, what I'm noticing is probably about 70% of all biomed shops report to facilities, 30% are starting to report to IT. And the two hospitals I have, one I report to IT, that was upon our request, and the other one is facilities. And that's because I have a good relationship with facilities and they understand what we're doing. We work together. In the future, it's going to be biomed and IT working together. And you may be working on computers just as much as you do medical equipment. The medical equipment, as you know in the past, for you that have been in the industry, it's not going to be turning a wrench anymore. We're using an oscilloscope to troubleshoot. It's going to be software. You're going to have to know how to program, network, and all that stuff. And if you don't change with the future, we're going to become dinosaurs and become obsolete in the next thing. So, next slide. And it says, business as we know today is a puzzle, as I was explaining, waiting to put together. All right, so I told you about coaching. You know, a football coach doesn't necessarily play football, but the area where you can help in your business, these are 7 things I came up with. Technology, all right? Technology is always key. The more you can repair, the better off you are. But I don't expect you all to know how to fix X-ray, laboratory, respiratory anesthesia, and general equipment. That's why we'll be working 100-hour weeks. All right? So you do it as a team. Business knowledge is key. When your superiors talk to you, you're able to relate to them on a business level, and you understand the cost of what it's costing you. You understand the budget as it was explained to you, and you're able to collaborate on an equal level, regardless if he's your boss or not. They respect that. I know when I have my employee come to me and say, hey, I want you to understand, these numbers here don't add up. We can do it better by doing it this way. I respect that, and I don't look at them as you work for that, and you can listen to that. That would be too arrogant to me. There are bosses like that, and that's unfortunate. But if you listen to your employees, especially if they take the initiative to come to you, that can give you so much added value. Management knowledge as well. I suggest every one of you that are new in the industry, take some type of management class, read management books. There's all kinds of great books out there that will help you with understanding leadership, the dynamics of a team. One of the things that I do with my employees is I give them a personality test. It's called the Anagram. And I know there's like 4 or 5 out there. It's a great psychology test on your personality. It has 9 different areas. Not only is it so good, when I took that test, not only did it hit me to the T, I was shocked because I took Personality Plus, Rakes and Myers, all those tests I took there. That one told me the way I was raised. And it was, I don't know how it knew that, but it was accurate. And when I saw that, it also told me how I react in, what do they call it, less resourceful ways. Less resourceful ways means under stress, all right? Under resourceful ways means normal operations, everything's good. Because your personality changes under stress. What do you become when you're agitated or when you're stressed out? You know, so from there, you can work on yourself. If you're humble enough to take a good look at yourself and say, how can I better myself? What are my weaknesses in my profession? Then you can better yourself. And a lot of times, I was raised, just so you know, my history, I was raised by a German mom and a first sergeant. And there was no leniency there. I mean, it was an iron fist. And so I was performance-based. I had never thought about taking a look at myself because I was taught when you fail or when you're weak in something, you don't show that your weakness. You only show your strengths. That's not true. I have more respect for people that come to me and say, I'm weak in this area, I need help, because I can help that person. And it's in your weakness when you become strong, as long as you're able to look at yourself with honesty and be willing to grow in that area. So, and then we have communication skills. Obviously, communication skills are good. Just on the way down here, I had an upset customer. Man, they weren't allied with us. And I was pretty much getting yelled at by this person. She had every right to yell at me because one of my technicians made a mistake. But that means I made a mistake because I own the company. And so I communicated with her the whole time, let her be mad. But when you have someone that's yelling at you or they're upset with you, that's a good thing. And I'll tell you why. Because when they stop talking to you, that's when you don't have a chance anymore. That's when it's done. That's when you probably don't have a job. And probably you're not going to get the contract. Whatever it is that your goal is or what it is you're seeking. So you keep the lines of communication open. And if someone's upset, find out why. Try not to go on the defense. Most people are trained to be defensive when they get critical. And I was guilty of that. It took me many years to learn, all right, this person's upset. They're valid. Let me find out why they're upset and acknowledge that, you know, and then not be mad at them. I try to be a safe person. So when someone is able to come to me and talk, if they know that I'm a safe person, they know I'm not going to take offense to what they have to say. Compliance knowledge, that is critical. I try to teach all my employees compliance as well as the students now that go to our school, because we're inspected by the D&B, which is more like an ISO standards, and the Joint Commissions, which is more of a policy standard. They're similar and then they're different. But both ways is they look to make sure that your PMs are done. They want to make sure if you make a mistake, just own it. I've made mistakes in the past. I've owned it and fix it. They have more respect for that than if you try to cover something up. So just own everybody's clients. Understand your equipment management plan. If you're a technician and you're a level 1 BMET, ask to understand the biomed plan. Can I see the equipment management plan. I want to see what our mission statement is, what it is that we wrote, how I can understand the more you understand about what it is you're doing in the big picture, the better you are for the organization and for yourself. And the easier it'll become for you to go into a supervisor position, lead tech, management, prevention director, and then a lot of biomeds might end up becoming an administrator of a hospital because they took that initiative. People skills. We interview everyone for people skills. Someone will come up to me and want a job, not knowing anything about biomed, but they have awesome people skills, they're great communicators. I take a chance on them. Take a chance on 2 of those people. They're my best technicians now. You can teach anyone how to repair a piece of equipment, but you can't teach people skills if they don't have them. You can coach them, and so that is critical. And there's all kinds of books about people skills and how to better yourself on that. And then vision. Don't be afraid of your vision. I have a vision, and I'll go after something. A lot of people are afraid to take risks, and that's understandable. I can see why. But if you go out and you take a risk with full integrity of doing what you want to do and you believe in it and it's the right thing, share that vision with others. You'll be surprised at how many people will look at your vision and say, that's a great idea. I know that they never made a statue of the Wright brothers critics. You don't see a statue of them. You see a statue of the Wright brothers. They had a vision to fly, and everyone thought that was funny. But they did it. So don't be afraid to go out above and beyond and share your vision with them, even if it doesn't make sense to people. That's where your business plan comes in. You have to learn to communicate and have them accept it. And that's turning your no into a yes. So when someone says no to me, I usually say no for now or no forever. So next slide. Different levels of cross training. All right, you got technical, specialized in anything radiology, IT, anesthesia, which I have there, management, business, and I put entrepreneur. I always wanted to own my own business, so I was learning everything that I learned to eventually become a business owner. So by the time I was 48, I was ready to do that. Well, I'm sorry, I was younger. I was 42 when I started my own business. And then alliances is key. This is all about making networks in here. Why are we at the Indie Expo? We're here to learn, get our CEUs, understand what everything else is, making alliance. Everybody in here, you're my peers. I'd like to be friends with everyone, help everyone. But we're all here to help the patient with safety on their medical devices for them to get better in the background. I can't be a doctor, so I try to help the doctor by repairing equipment and managing it. So we're all here for the same reasons, and of course, have to live it. Next slide. Needs are different for different organizations. For my organization with CER, it's mainly contracts. We repair the general equipment, but I'm getting hammered on radiology contracts, so we're looking at cross training in that area. Risk management. And what I mean by risk management is, on the larger hospitals, they may know they get kids. I don't know if you were in David's class yesterday, but he said he had 12 robots, and that was like 1% of the entire budget. And that was huge for the biomed budget. So what he did is he spread it over the entire budget of biomed. And that's something that you look at when you're looking at it from biomed. Okay, we know that we have to keep this under contract, but let's spread it over everything, and then we can share that to administration, and they can accept the high cost of the robot. And there's a lot more with the robot that I can tell you about that would take a while. The OEMs and ISOs have 2 different things. They're both needed. OEMs are equipment manufacturers. They invent the equipment. They like to service it. Where the ISOs are helpful is they're usually employees who used to work for the OEMs, then resign, start their own business working on that equipment, but they keep the costs lower for the hospital. So they need each other even though they butt heads. It's kind of a love-hate relationship, but they depend on each other. Small businesses like myself, I don't look at myself as an ISO. I'm more of a consulting, and I bring things more to an in-house level and use the OEM and ISOs. However, I try to put it all together for each one. And then certifications, I put CBET on here, all right? I only have one CBET that works for me, but my other technicians are just as good. So if someone comes to me with a CBET, that's important. And I take great pride in their initiative that they took the test and got certified on it. And I think that's great. Where I think our industry could be better is when you graduate from school, there should be a test that we take that gets you some kind of certification as a biomed, and then the CBET would be the advanced certification on it. So I don't put too much value if they don't have the CBET, because I know some new students have to wait 2 years before they take their CBET. And I don't put too much value on the management test, which I don't have that yet. I'm going to take it just because I'm going to take it. It's not going to be that hard to test once you study it. But these are good to have, but it's not what I look at when I'm interviewing. It's not my deciding factor. If I see employee A or interview A with a CBET, but his people skills are weak, and employee B without a CBET has great people skills, I'm probably going to go with that person. You know, so different employees have different needs. Trimedics, they love CBETs, they want CBETs, and that's okay. But just understand when you apply for a job, do your research as to what their expectations are, and know them, because when anyone interviews you, they love to hear that you did your research, you understand their company, and then ask them questions. If they say, do you have any questions for me? And you don't have any, it's kind of a deterrent. You know, ask them questions, be challenging on them, you know. And then formal education is always important, because even though I have an MBA, it doesn't really matter to me. It's formal education. But you'll be surprised how many people look at your credentials on LinkedIn or whatever. I mean, if I didn't have my MBA and I applied for some contracts, I wouldn't get them. And even though I think if you're a technical person, I'm not going to care if you have your bachelor's degree in business or a master's degree, but other organizations do. So the more formal education you can get, the better. And on the formal education side, you know, with our school CIT, we're working on a 4-year HTM degree that's going to have 5 areas of expertise. It'll be biomedical specialized, IT, which, you know, you can say HTM on it. It's going to be management, and it's also going to be business. I'm sorry, some 4 areas that you'll have on that to choose from. And we're hoping to have that up by February. We're a year behind schedule, but the governing bodies, they move very slow. The snails are like pace. Next slide. Okay. And then look how our school can help. All right. What we do is we go to organizations and we ask them for their needs. We ask them what they're looking for, how employees can advance with their organization, and what type of employees they need if they have a gap to fill. We create curriculum to meet those needs. Right now, we have a relationship with Summit Imaging, and they're giving us their curriculum to put together to teach on ultrasound and mammography. So that's going to be a subject matter expert teaching you on that piece of equipment. That is our goal with every specialty piece of equipment. Our certified biomeds, some are certified, some not, but they've been in the industry for over 30 years and provide them all. We'll teach the general stuff. And then a lot of times, I teach on the externship side. My job is to make sure you get externships to help you get a job if you're a student. Right? Remember, I have 2 areas I'm talking about, school and the service company. And then professional development. We have professional development classes. Let's say you're a biomed and people want you to get certified as IT. You can take an 80-hour class with us and then challenge the DIA exam. Or you can take the test out exam, which is already included in that price, and get your certificate. And as long as your company don't mind, as long as you have the certificate, bottom line is, if you can produce what they're looking for, you can network and all that, you got that paper, you'll be fine. And then follow career paths and assisting with decisions based on needs, continuing education. So we're here to help follow your career path. Michael graduated from our school. I never got a chance to meet him in person, but he's a alumni from CIT and introduced himself today to me. I saw his name because we had some to get his diploma. But I'm not done with Michael. We're going to follow up and see where he's at now. He told me where he works at, and now we're going to see what he needs next for him to get a promotion. We're looking better to help him. And then we're going to communicate. The other thing that we want to do is we want all of your input for us to say, hey, there's a need for this need this week. Send us an email, go on our Facebook. We'll gladly develop curriculum for that. We'll contact whoever we need to. But we're here to help this industry become better and to close that gap. And obviously, this is continuing education, just like all the other ones are. What we're trying to establish is when you get your continuing education certificate, we're going to see if we can do it in a more formal way. Like, here's your certificate from MD Expo, but it's got an approval, a seal of approval with a certificate from an accredited school. And that just looks better for your own resume. Again, we're here to make you guys look good. And ladies, next slide. And then I said, what does HTM mean to you? And I think I said this in the beginning. And HTM is you. That's what it is. It's you developing, transforming. We had, HTM is from Venus, IT is from Mars. We had this is what HTM is. It's just technology changing. I think David did the best when he had all these things with the Apple Watch and the Apple phone and all these different technologies changing, Amazon. That's all HEM. It's a whole new way of doing things in the medical field. So as long as you evolve with the technology and learn how to manipulate the technology, just as I do, you don't have to fix it, but I can manipulate it, I can coach you. Then you guys will better yourselves. And then I already answered the one. Sorry about that. I think that was the last slide. And if you have any questions, this is our school. Again, our name is being changed right now. We're just waiting for the final approval. We should have that hopefully in the next 2 weeks at the latest. It'll be the College of Biomedical Equipment Technology. When we get the 4-year degree, it'll be College of Healthcare Technology. Change it again. But again, that's us evolving as technology evolves. That's pretty much my presentation. So does anyone have any questions?
Just a comment when you talked about the CVET certification. I'm a recruiter. People do come to us looking for CVET,
Right.
but that's not the real issue. Is it's helping to promote the professionalization of our career field, which has been in the basement.
Absolutely.
You guys work in a shop and stuff. Well, we're wanting to look at that. You know, part of that is becoming like technology. You've got to have certifications, technology to work on. I mean, technologies, medical technologies, to work in hospitals, you know. So I'm a sponsor of the CVET study guide. I just talked to Steve Campbell, who's Vice President of Operations at Amy, and the new one will be coming out. I sponsor it. It comes out in middle of May. There's 300 new questions on it, and it is an Amy CVET study guide. It won yesterday. I'll send to the individual. So I'm a strong proponent of certification. So there are states now, California's one, that are looking at requiring some form of certification. And Kaiser permitting now. Anybody, Kaiser? I think to get to the next level of Kaiser, or when you come on an entry level, you're paid significantly. So there are hospitals around the nation that are looking for folks that they have to see that. But like you said, people skills to me are just as important, or in many cases in a hospital environment, more important.
Yeah, Doug brings up a good point because the old biomed techs, and I'm not saying all of them, but they would get called, they would come out of the basement, they might have a ponytail, eating jeans, not a lab coat, replace the centipede and go back into the basement. But if you dress professionally and you look sharp, then you put yourself on the same level as the next professional that's up there. When I go to some of my accounts, sometimes I wear a polo shirt with my CDR logo on it. And the same people that know me, they talk down to me. And it's funny, it's just psychology, it's like sociology I look at it. Then the following month I'll come in my suit and tie, and they're calling me sir. I mean, it's just that perception. So if you dress as a professional, it puts you on that higher level when you're working. And what we're trying, as Doug said, we were in the basement. Fortunately, Victoria, we're in the basement. That's the only place we have room. And luckily, they moved us from the basement underneath the stairwell to the 7th floor. I'm like, oh, that's great. But it was the old OR. It was kind of haunted to us, and we're kind of freaked out there. But it was still better than the basement being underneath the stairwell. We just didn't hang out alone all the time in the OR up there. But what I'm trying to change in this industry as well, like Doug said, it's CVET. But I know that when you graduate, you can't take the CVET right away. They want some. I'm going to try to work with the AMI and other organizations, maybe even MD Expo, and see if we can initiate some sort of certification when you graduate. So I know the VA right now is not letting their VA people that are just technicians, even with their short course or long course from the military, they have to go and get their associate's degree. So we have a lot of VA students going to get their associate's degree for us. So it's not going to just be a certification, it's going to be a degree. The reason why we have the certification is to help people that need to get put through the job market quickly, knowing that they're still going to expand on their education. Yes?
You put a lot of emphasis on people skills and a lot of skills. Do you or does anybody have a class or whatnot to help with developing these skills? Because people don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. We have a professional communication class that we teach, and Scott just took that over. He's incorporating people's skills with that. And again, we can explain people's skills, but sometimes It takes more than explaining. I mean, you have to really want it and understand it. Some people are just in their bubble and they're selfish, so they don't think they need people skills. They think they're always right. So you can't train everyone. You can train the majority of them. You know, yes.
That's a simple question.
Yeah.
So whenever you interview them, you look at people skills. How do you determine if someone does have a higher skill set?
It's easy. It's very obvious. It's by their confidence, by the way they talk, by the way. I look at people that are confident with being humble at the same time. You know? Yes, sir. Sir.
Sorry. As someone who is weirdly both an introvert and an extrovert, how would you classify the people skills? Because there are times when I walk into a room and I can go off and talk someone's head off and have a really nice conversation. There are times where I don't do nothing but sit in one of the room and eat, my pizza or
Yeah. Well, that's fine. By saying that, just by what you told me, that's people skills. You opened up the vulnerability and you told me the truth. I respect that. So I would say, okay, when you're in that one booth and you stay in the shop, you repair equipment in the shop, and you don't have to go out on the floor and talk to anyone. You know? So that's what I would do if it came to me as my employee. And I have employees like that. You need both. You need people that are down the lab repairing equipment. You know? So it's okay. Yes, ma'am.
I think also when it comes to people skills, it's not a sense of everyone needs to have the same personality. Everyone needs to be an extrovert just to have people skills. I think it's how you understand other people and how you can kind of read what they're trying to ask you. Because I've always say everyone's communicating differently, everyone's going to have a different personality, and it's how you handle conflict and how you handle people asking you to accomplish your tasks. And certain people can be very, icy or don't have those people skills. Like you don't have to be a crazy personality, you're a crazy extrovert to be kind and respectful and understanding.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then again, I said we use the anagram test. That would give me, on that test, that would come out, and I would know just from that test. But the fact that when the technicians take the test, I sit down and go over it with them. And a lot of times they don't realize there's certain, they're like, I never realized that, but now I think about it, yeah, that's right. So the anagram, if you guys ever want to take it for fun, it's only $10 online. And you can take it, and they give you 200 questions, and they give you a comprehensive report back. It's pretty impressive. Yes?
What's your favorite number of hires?
My favorite number to hire?
On the internet?
Oh, I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I don't have a favorite number to hire. You have the powerful, I don't know them all. You have the loving, the wise, the powerful, the efficient, and I forgot the other four, so forgive me. But you have a main one, and then you have your wing stop. So that's it. And then under stressful situations, it might shift. Because you're not as effective if you're ineffective under stressful situations, because you're trying to put out fires. But I don't really have one. There's no negative personality. There's not. Everyone has positive traits and negative traits. The key is to have balance and to admit to your weak traits and to develop them to be better traits. So, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for that.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
said you're a recruiter. Can you give me a 1 minute or less of skill to recruiting?
I'm sorry, could you,
You say you're a recruiter. Can you give us 1 minute of what?
how it works, or
Yes.
as a recruiter? Basically, companies like him, Bill's would come to me, they call me and say, I need a person with these particular skill sets. I want biomed 2 or biomed 3, I classify you. There is no real national classification for it. Entry level is pretty much entry level.
Right.
They'll come to me and tell me what they need. Tim does most of my recruiting for me, Tim Hopkins, and that's who you would be talking to most of the time. I usually move off of them, except for conferences. So Tim is the person that will find out what they need, the client. That would be the hospital, or the ISO. Every ISO that is here basically uses my service. They have in the past, not currently, but every time they have need to come. And companies pay recruiters a certain amount of the initial salary of the individual as a company individual. But don't let anybody tell you, I can't use a recruiter because we'll have to take it out of your pay. Not true. They're taking that right away from that country company. They're lying to you. So, and I have seen that happen. But basically, that's, and then we have a guarantee that you will maintain your time with that employer. I have to replace you if you leave that place within 90 days. That means I lose my money if I don't replace you right. So I want you to stay with the company. You know, it hurts me and it hurts you. You always want to stay with the organization a minimum, I like to say 2 years. A lot of people say 1, but always don't continue moving around looking for that nickel because it's going to hurt you in the long run. People look at that job history. And you're moving around, buddy, it's one of the first red flags people have.
No, I like to get 2 years.
Him also.
Yeah.
Just back to the deal of how small it is, don't worry if it's out there. Not leave on that you're not going out and play with employees. It will catch up with you.
It does, it comes down.
We work for Patriot. Well, you might not know that Bill knows, someone that worked for Jackson. You might go, well, that's Patriot was Jackson. So there's some connections out there that you got to be aware of, you might not be aware of. So basically, small, don't worry if it's doing best that you leave, that's not a super question.
Exactly.
I just want not to mention now, don't have them out there or trying to get in town with the private.
Yeah, the key is if you do the right thing every day with integrity, it'll be rewarding. I feel it really rewarding to go back and hear people that I've known for 20 years, say positive things about me, and vice versa. And we do that because we're here to help one another. We're not here to cut anyone's throat. We're not here to step on you to get to a higher level. Because people that do that don't succeed. They may succeed for the short term, but they'll fail in the long run. As long as you're helping people and helping yourself, it'll always come back to you. It's that if you have a positive attitude, positive things happen. If you have a negative attitude, negative things happen. And if you don't believe me, just think of someone you know that's always negative. Tell me if they have anything positive happening in their lives. Any other questions? Yes.
I took a picture of a snapshot of a slide in another presentation, and it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. And it says, when you're ready for the next step in your career, do not wait for your current employer to give you a chance. Instead, find an employer who is ready to take a chance with you.
That's good. And I guess there's probably more to that story than what you just read, because maybe you were waiting for that chance and it takes an ultimatum for you to quit before they do that. So maybe that employer didn't see the value until you said, I'm leaving. So I get where they're coming from with that.
Well, I guess one more on that. My guys are sitting here, so if I have a tech shoe that I know that's ready to get tech free, I'll let them know, hey, more permanent methods have a position. I think these lots, we're trying to get rid of it. I just let them know that they get rid of it. They have something. Sometimes I tell my guys, you gotta move out, move up. It's like, they're gonna take care, say 8, tech free, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. So I don't want to hold this guy back, and I know there's other positions out there. But, yeah, I'll send real quick. Sometimes you gotta move out, move up.
I just did another $25 an hour job, and they cut my hours back and cutbacks, and I got $11 an hour increase, so I went to another place. Direct sound.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Yes.
You mentioned learning about management side as well. Some of the aspects of
Yes.
business. If you just start books or not, what were some better books?
Carnegie Hall has some good books. What was that one book that you're having me read? I still read books every week. So, and then Monty just gave me a book to read. What's the name? 5 Dysfunctions of an Organization. So if you understand that, that'll help you make decisions. And what we're going to do is on our website, we're going to post a lot of management books. And a lot of my managers, I want them to read books on leadership. It's they're short books. You can have some short books that are only 2-page chapters. And I don't like to read, but the last 5 years, I started reading the book a week. It just something that I put on, and it's very helpful. You don't have to read lengthy books, but if you go and look at the books, who was the author on that?
Patrick Lencioni.
Sorry, who?
Patrick Lencioni.
Patrick Lencioni. So, but we'll post all that on our website, and you can look, and we can say this book here will help you in this area here. But always, if you're reading books, you'd be surprised how much knowledge you get from that, and how everything fits in place with that. Anything else? Yes?
Can I throw out one shameless self-promotion? I'm giving away $200 today, anybody want?
Shameless.
I'm buying my food, it's cash. I'm buying it before 3:30 this afternoon, and I can give you a card. If you don't have a card, I've got cards for you to fill out. Yesterday I gave away the 2019 study guide, today it's $200 cash. I don't think you can get a better card than these letters. Amazon. 307.
Yeah.